Hey, this is Subspace Transmissions. I'm Tyler.
And I'm Cam.
Cam, we just finished watching The Killing Game,
Yes, we did.
1 and 2, for our latest podcast episode, and it got us thinking about, I guess, the history of holodeck programming on Star Trek Voyager. Look, I was a bigger fan of The Killing Game than you were, but I mean, is there a bit of a through line here with maybe Voyager's struggles with regards to certain holodeck adventures?
Well, a lot of Voyager felt like intentional, like it was very intentionally trying to evoke TNG. And obviously TNG was famed for its holodeck episodes, a lot of them very much loved by fans. And yeah, you could see Voyager trying for that again. A lot of these episodes kind of doing the cosplay kind of thing, like recreating World War II, like the Killing Game, or Beowulf, with the Doctor.
Or don't forget Janeway's Gothic literature. That
my favorites of all.
Where did that ever end up going, Cam? Any resolution to that story?
Wherever it went, I could not follow.
Yeah, but the thing is, they're also obsessed with like these other kind of weird stories, like let's go play with Leonardo da Vinci.
Sure.
Let's give Leonardo da Vinci a mobile emitter.
Right.
Let's watch him fly. It's like I'm not sure how invested I am, as like these aren't really great high concept episodes. Yeah. I'm not saying that the episode ideas aren't out there. I just don't know if the execution is all that great, especially when you've got like adventures in the Irish town of Fairhaven.
Sure.
So I mean, what do you think?
What are you talking about, laddie?
Yeah. What do you think the Voyager crew could have done to, I guess, liven things up a little bit, make it a little bit more interesting, just so we could have more Moriarty-esque adventures than, I guess, trips to Fairhaven?
Sure. Well, I mean, TNG very much nailed down what a holodeck episode is. And I think when you look at the DS9 ones, like Take Me Out to the Holosuite or Armand Bashir, they figured out what those episodes could be on Deep Space Nine.
They were always very character specific, those
yes.
two examples that you just provided there.
Yes, and very...
The holodeck was, or the holosuite was almost secondary to what was kind of going on with the character.
And very driven by character comedy. Like, DS9 was such a character-heavy show that those holodeck episodes were very much about kind of playing up the fun sides of these characters. Whereas, like... Do you think the Voyager staff ever figured out what a holodeck episode is to the Voyager crew?
Yes, I do. Bride of Chaotica and Captain Proton, like
sure.
those kinds of adventures. Because the only one who seemed to really have fun with the holodeck was one Tom Paris. And we even see this in The Killing Game, where he's really getting into this American Yankee soldier sort of persona here. B'Elanna Torres in Extreme Measures. She's not having fun in the holodeck.
Not really.
Yeah, so, I mean, other than, I guess, Tom, who's the next closest person to really, having a good adventure on the holodeck?
I think Harry Kim, playing along as Buster Kincaid to his Captain Proton, as well as you have, of course, the episode where Harry falls in love with a holodeck character. Been there, right?
Yep.
And I'm not just talking about the cow in Fairhaven.
Molly?
Yeah, Molly.
Don't diss Molly like that, Cameron. Yeah.
Yeah.
Or as Chakotay explains to Janeway, it's like we're all just light in force fields, anyways.
Right.
Yeah.
But yeah, do you feel like Voyager figured out like a way to make these episodes that felt fresh in any sort of way?
Well, I would say I'm being completely earnest when I reference Bride of Chaotica and Captain Proton. We've never seen a Star Trek episode quite like that. I think it was interesting. There was actual stakes. It's over the top. It's silly. I think it's like the one really unique, out there kind of Voyager adventure that we ever got on the holodeck.
Okay, so that one worked for you, but like, where did the other ones go wrong? Like, what was the problem?
I think they just were kind of bland. Like, they weren't as wacky, crazy fun as, like, a Captain Proton adventure. And even when you have all the elements going for you, like in The Killing Game...
Sure.
I think what you and I were stuck on, we were actually a lot more interested in what was going on aboard Voyager during, like, Harry Kim's and the Doctor's resistance movements against the Trojan within the ship.
Right.
Versus watching all these characters in the Paramount backlot, play around with... Hirogen that actually were playing like Nazis, and they knew what was going on, while the rest of the crew were hooked up to neural interfaces and didn't know anything about their own history. It was just kind of like, there's a lot of plate spinning going on here. And if you're just watching the holodeck for plate spinning, not so much fun for me.
I think for me, one thing that really helps a holodeck episode is that, because they're tackling other genres, it really, I think, matters a lot how passionate the writer or director is about the genre that's being tackled on the holodeck. Like, when I look at Bride of Chaotica, I mean, it is bending over backwards to evoke, like, the Flash Gordon sort of serials. And it's doing a really great job at it. Or, you can look at some of the TNG ones, like Dixon Hill. Like, I'm not a huge fan of those episodes, but they very much understand those sort of detective stories like Maltese Falcon. But when I look at some of the others on Voyager, like the ones that don't work, like the, Beowulf story, or even like The Killing Game, for me, it doesn't feel like it's really looking at the best of what, say, World War II movies, in the case of The Killing Game, can bring to the table. And it's kind of just doing the cosplay thing, like, let's just put on funny uniforms.
Well, I know that the Voyager writers were big fans of children's literature, just based on how much fun I had watching Treebus and Flogger.